Hello and welcome everyone again to another video, and in today's video I am re-recording the video I posted early in the morning today, which had for some reason loud music. I have no idea why or how, but every time I have Windows update it just screws everything over in my OBS. So I'm re-recording it, so I apologize if you clicked and the music was loud and you were trying to understand what's going on but you couldn't. So my apologies, and that's why we are recording the video again. So hopefully you guys don't miss anything and you stay on top of the meta, because that's what we'll be talking about, the best teams in season 17. This is an updated version because I did one at the beginning of the season, and as we all know, at the beginning of the season, it's just guessing, but now we have some data that we can work around and tell based on what we've seen. And if you guys look at the PvPoke ranking here, Lickitung is number 1 on the top ranking, followed by Registeel, Cresselia. I think it was Medi and Discarm instead of Licky. So the new ranking shows that Cresselia, Reggie, Gligar, and Licky are the best 4. Why? Well, they get some data from the regionals. People are using Cresselia a lot, Poliwrath a lot, Charjabus a lot, and these are Pokemon that can handle everything. Cresselia is being the new best Psychic in the Cup after the nerf to Medi, and DD is failing to fill that spot because DD lack the matchups against the XLs, the bulky stuff, where Cresselia can do better. And it's one specific matchup as an example here, which you guys can see over there, which is the Carbink. Cresselia can beat Carbink while DD cannot for some reason. Like Farfetch'd can beat Carbink because they resist the rock fast move while DD does not resist it, so that's an issue. And here, if as always, we've divided the meta into good leads, safe swaps, closers, and stuff are in between. Like, Yasser, why do you have 3 categories but you have stuff all over the place? Well, I don't know what to fit them in, to be honest, because as is a good lead, good safe swap, good closer, so it's one of those. So you can see it's in the middle between a safe swap and a good lead. Serperior is on top of everything because it's a very solid Pokemon, so those Pokemons here are very, very solid. Are you guys saying that, are you saying that the Gliscor is on top of everything? No, it's just there because I couldn't find a place to put it on. Well, to be fair, I can just use it as a spicy Pokemon because it's just a what's a Gligar. So, leads are Pokemon that tend to do well because they have a fast move pressure plus a baiting move and a good nuking move. And that's what makes Gligar one of the best leads in the entire Great League meta. Talonflame is another good lead due to the massive fast move pressure, and the fast move will be ramped up after throwing 1 or 2 flame charges. Why Toxapex is a good lead? It's not because of the baiting. It doesn't have a baiting move. It's for one specific reason, because you cannot safe swap it. So you lead it, and if they have a hard counter lead, you just swap out. So it's just like giving you a chance to come back from the horrible lead, so you can swap it out. Deoxys defense is replacing Medi as the best counter user. Is it the best counter user? Yes. No. So that's what the best counter user I will be mentioning later in the video. So you guys will be stuck with me here watching this video. Venusaur. What makes Venusaur a good lead? Well, Venusaur is an amazing Pokemon. This Pokemon can do stuff better than what Trevenant can do, because Trevenant doesn't sweep. Trevenant can win matchups 1v1 as long as it's a neutral matchup, while Venusaur can sweep. If Venusaur has same energy as Licky, Venusaur can beat Licky and leave the matchup with almost a move. Venusaur against usually nothing appreciate a Frenzy Plant. I mean, except this Skarmory is the one that can take Frenzies very comfortably because it's double resisted, right? But as an example, in the one shield, Venusaur can throw 1 Frenzy Plant against Azu and then farm all the way down and leave the matchup with lots of energy. Now moving to the safe swaps, Lickitung is the best safe swap. Sableye is also the best safe swap. Yes, so which one is better? Well, Licky is better now because of Carbink. That's the main reason. Usually Sableye is better if Bastiodon is more common, because Sableye can beat Bastiodon up a shield, while Licky cannot, basically. You can't. It's just a horrible matchup because of the lack of fast move pressure versus tons of massive fast move pressure here. Umbreon is not as good as it used to be in the safe swap because of Carbink. Again, it just walls everything that Umbreon does. And that's where Clodsire and Dugong are filling the Umbreon spot, which is a bulky Pokemon that does lots of charge move pressure, and that's literally what this thing does. It has better coverage against the current meta. Like Clodsire just walls everything about carving. But there is a Pokemon that can easily actually do it even better, which is Whiscash. What does Whiscash do? Whiscash basically took Swampert spot in the current meta, where it doesn't have Hydro Cannon, but it has a Scald, and it has a high chance to debuff the opponent. And if you guys watched the last tournament where Doombug was able to put the opponent in a very awkward spots because he kept getting the Scald debuffs, in many situations he was able to flip matchups he's not supposed to win, or he doesn't win because he got 2 or 3 Scald debuffs back to back to back. A matchup like Poliwrath is supposed to beat Whiscash, but he was able to flip it because of some debuffs. And that's what makes Whiscash decent. So Whiscash is more aggressive version of Clodsire, while Clodsire is more of a bulky version of Whiscash. Doesn't spam charge moves as much as the Whiscash. What about Quag? Well, Quag is a worse version of Whiscash, basically. Scald is just amazing, and Whiscash has enough bulk to throw some more charge moves. And if you land a Scald debuff against Lickitung, you live the Power Whip, which means they need 2 moves to KO you. And by that time, if they are slow on the swap, you will be able to get to 3 moves and try to flip swap, which is not supposed to happen, but it does happen. Closets are basically Pokemon that are able to perform great in the zero shield scenario, and due to their nuking ability or due to their massive bulk, annoying typings, stuff like Basti and Carving, they have an annoying typing. While Registeel just KO everything with 1 zap or 2 zaps, or 2 Focus Blasts, or 1 Focus Blast. It's stuff that just good at nuking. Diggersby, G-Fisk, it's not the best in the class here, but it's an option for people who don't have these 2 stuff. And Lantern is still one of the best Pokemons in the current meta. Now, moving to the anti-meta. I have Poliwrath here as an anti-meta. I think Poliwrath is meta. Sirfetch'd is an anti-meta, though. I made, I think, 2 or 3 videos about Sirfetch'd last rotation, and it should be great again. Yes, it should be great again. I will be using this Pokemon tomorrow, so make sure to stop by the stream. Anything else here worth mentioning? Well, Vigoroth. Vigoroth is crazy good now. They gave it Rock Slide. Cofagrigus is even better now because it just walled the fast move from Poliwrath. It doesn't comfortably beat it because Poliwrath is so annoying. If they get like a Scald debuff, well, they can also just go straight Icy Wind. So Poliwrath has become one of the best Pokemons in the entire Great League and Ultra League for one reason. Well, it's 5 reasons actually. Reason number 1. They gave it Community Day move counter. Number 2, they gave it Scald, which was supposed to be, I think, a legacy move. 3, they buffed Scald. 4, they gave it Icy Wind. 5, they nerfed Medi, so it took Medi's spot. So 5 massive buffs are supposed to make any horrible Pokemon meta. Yeah, any horrible Pokemon can become meta with 5 buffs. Magilike, Trevenant didn't even get a single buff, but it got 3 good charge move, 2 good charge move, 1 good charge move, and 1 good fast move, and a coverage move. So yeah, those are like basically the good Pokemons. Skunk has a decent spot in the current meta, but it's an off-meta Pokemon. Same for Galv. Galv is now just becoming a bad Charjabus. But if you want to run double Electric Bug, you can do that with Charjabus. Now we talked about the Pokemons. I'm adding a new segment to these videos. I call it the top performance. Those Pokemons are the Pokemons that performed the best in the last rotation for this league. So I'm making 2 videos, 1 Great League, 1 Ultra League, and the top performance here, top performers, not performance, yes, Skarmory, this thing, Carbink, Wigglytuff, surprisingly, is decent now. Why? You can just 2 shield straight Icy Wind against all the neutral matchup now. Lantern, just being the best Pokemon. Registeel, just being Registeel. So, these are the top performance. And now we will be talking about, not the BBML, but we will be talking about the top performing teams from last rotation, then the BBML teams, then teams from last seasons. Now moving into the top teams, and the number 1 team, if you guys watch this channel, you guys know that there is always something we admire, which we call it the top 3 PvPoke. What's the top 3 PvPoke? It's basically the top 3 PvPoke. You combine them and you put them in one team and you call it the top 3 PvPoke team. Okay, this is not the order he has it. This is the actual order. Lickitung, Registeel, Cassilia, what's the mindset? There is no mindset. It's literally you go to PvPoke 1, 2, 3, you put them together, you call it the top 3 PvPoke team. Now, the top performing team from last rotation was Azu, Carbink, and Medi. This team had one problem, which was huge last rotation, which is Superior. If they have Superior, you lose. If they don't have Superior, you pretty much can beat anything. So that was like the main issue. So if they have Superior, you just stay in as an Azu and you keep throwing Ice Beams, then you farm it down with Medi. And then you rely on Carbink just RPSing the opponent. Because usually people with Superior, they then Gligar. So if they want to shield against Azu, your Medi can beat Gligar and then Carbink just can beat whatever they have in the back. But this is not the top performing from last rotation. The top performing team from last rotation is a version of Stop Alcatraz. Stop Alcatraz team, which is the Shadow Dragonair, Medi, Basti, if you guys remember it. Now you just replace the Basti with Carbink and you have the top performing team. Fabulous. Another solid team that was extremely annoying in the last Great League rotation, which is Skarmory, Double Mud Boys, was a team that was popular back in Season 1 by the best 3-2 streamer in the world. The one that's 3-2s, 2-3s all the time. You guys know him. He runs Skarmory, used to run Skarmory Double Mud Boys back in Season 2, I think. So it's his signature team. But now it's no longer a signature team because people find out that there is a website called PvPoke and you go to PvPoke, you build a team, you choose Skarmory, PvPoke suggest Whiscash. So we knew the secret behind Discord Battle Bell. You can no longer call your signature team. It's actually a PvPoke suggestion. It's an AI signature team. You can no longer do that, Battle Bell. And yeah. Yeah, it's like his own legacy Battle Bell. Now he's left with one legacy, which is the 3-2 stream. So he used to run, I think, Skarmory, Whiscash, Swampert. But Swampert is bad now. You just run Lantern instead, and you have double weak to grass in the back, so you have to use one of these to bait out the grass, farm it down with the Skarmory later, and you have another Mud Boy, another Water Pokemon to sweep. Another solid team that was actually popular. Surprisingly, it's two Pokemons that I did not expect. Which one you actually did not expect? I did not expect the Skeleton. What's the second one? Why do you need two? What's wrong with you? Are you here to learn or just argue? So we have Whiscash, Double Fire, and as you guys know, this is weak to Electric and Water. And there is one Pokemon that beat Electric and Water. It's Whiscash. Magic. See, right? This is an ABB team. Another solid team, it's a team I actually ran multiple seasons, which is Lantern Venusaur Core with a Gligar. So sometimes you run Gligar, sometimes you run Pelipper, depending on the meta. If people aren't running that many Lanterns, if people are running Dugong, you just replace the Gligar with Pelipper. If people aren't running Ice or running more Steel, you just run Gligar because Gligar is better at handling the Steel. Another solid team, which actually surprisingly was extremely popular. I think Psionic made a video also about this team because this team was just everywhere. Like if you play a set, 3 battles of this set will be Double Dragon, okay? And this wasn't supposed to happen because usually we used to see Double Dragon in Master League, but we'd never expect to see Double Dragon in Great League because in Great League there is something called the Charm. Yeah. And Charm can kill any dragon in 3 fast moves. Why people are using it now? Well, technically, Charmads are not reliable as they used to be. And yeah, Lantern just beat all the Charmads, and you have 2 dragons. One of them is used to bait out the Rock, the Carbink, or the... Well, technically, the main common fairies now are Azu and Carbink. And both lose hard to Lantern. And Dragonair can do something against Azu. Technically, Dragonair Upper Shield can beat Azu. Another version of this team, you could do Superior Double Dragon. Why Superior? Because you beat this version. Because Superior just makes sure gives you the lead. And if they swap into Dragonair, you just throw an Aerial Ace and you go to either of your dragons. And then backs just to sweep everything. Another ABB team, the DD Double Dark. What's the concept behind this team? Well, DD Sableye is one of the OG codes where like DD, Sableye, Azu. That was basically the team I first made in the Great League and got popular. And that was basically one of the first team that was popularized and getting me like some, you know, like some followers on Twitter. I think I sent some footage to King IV. Shout out to King IV himself, the man. So yeah, also DD Umbreon is one of the strongest core, also from ever since GBL was made. So DD Double Dark, basically you use Umbreon to bait out the Charmers. You try to beat the Charmers with DD, but this team now is not as impressive just because of Carving. If people aren't using Carving, this team is crazy good. Some ABB teams, Venusaur Double Flyers, okay? Just to pretend that Dugong doesn't exist. Okay, now we're moving to a Poliwrath team. So this team, Talonflame, Lantern, Licky, was a team that existed before the Poliwrath lost buff. But now Poliwrath is just taking the Licky spot on this team and making it to like as one of the strongest teams in the Great League. And also I was trying to find some Glowdzire teams, and the only two I could find, which is Swampert to Glowdzire and Mandy Glowdzire and Medi. The team technically lacks a good matchup, will struggle against Poliwrath, as here you don't have a Poliwrath answer, as here the only answer is relying on landing some aerial aces, which is not a good idea. So you might need to put Charjabus instead of one of those two. Charjabus, if you guys know the Charjabus. Now some solid teams from previous seasons. This Venusaur, Registeel, Gligar. The team struggle against A-Slash, but I won most of the matchups against A-Slash, then I lost to. Another high skill team, Triple Charmers. This is preferred to be Shadow. This one, we don't have a Shadow. It's a very high skill team because it relies on you having fast fingers, so you have to keep tapping with two fast moves with like this until like the game ends. With the triple counter team, I think you just replace, you throw Goon in the trash and you put Shadow Poliwrath instead. Because Goon's job was basically beating the Dark, the Dark. And Poliwrath now just does it better. So yeah, pretty much that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. And I apologize again for the louder music. So we recorded again and we made it safe. So yeah, appreciate everyone who made it this far. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video. Peace.